Yes, villagers. Yesterday was the first anniversary to the murder of George Floyd. And while that was a tragedy, there were 4 things that I learned. If you want to find out what those are, you are in the right place. If you're new to this channel, welcome to our village. If you're a returning villager, welcome as well. So, let's get into it. Welcome to Garden of the Mind, where we reduce stress, improve our health and fitness, and improve our financial IQ every episode. We must believe more than we see. I can't believe that a whole year has gone by. It's went so fast, yet so slow at the same time. One of the things that it certainly has shown me is that recording is helping. There was a comedian by the name of Bobcat Goldthwait who said, if you see me getting ravaged by a bear, please drop the camera and help. And I thought about that and I laughed. In this era of Big Brother, whenever there's a tragedy, I argue whether it would be better for the person to drop the camera and help or to continue to record, because there are some instances where recording is better than the assistance that a person can give at that individual minute. In terms of George Floyd being murdered, the young lady that recorded the entire ordeal on camera, that was a particularly poignant bit of information. I thought that America got an opportunity to identify with the humanity of George Floyd as opposed to him being demonized and portrayed as a criminal. Lesson number 2. Activism is still important. This particular situation showed the effect and the power of protests. This was very important because it kept the attention on George Floyd and did not allow a cover-up to easily happen as it has happened in previous cases. These protests were very important because they let the main thing be the main thing in terms of George Floyd being murdered be the subject, and that coverage took place on the internet. It took place in the mainstream media. It did not allow us to turn away from exactly what has taken place. Lesson number 3. Police reform is still important and still needs our attention. This video showed how much power police have and how that power can be used to take a life. It brought up so many different things in terms of how policing happens, the job of bystanders. It highlighted so many flaws in terms of policing. There was a situation where you had the younger, less experienced police officers who really didn't feel like it was their place in order for them to correct a superior officer. Those things have been now brought to light, and now we are starting to see some changes starting to happen. While this is the first step, I think that it's important to acknowledge that it is a step, and it's a step in the right direction. So even after the murder of George Floyd, there was still several other African Americans who were murdered, who were unarmed. It still is provided a gleam of hope that things can improve and that we are moving towards improving those things so that we don't continue to see African American males and females murdered in police custody without any consequence. Lesson number 4. We have to add teeth to our laws. There are so many people now who are going out and they're passing new laws in terms of what police can do, what police cannot do, certain things to help to improve the situation. However, we have some laws that are currently on the books that are not being practiced as intended. In order for those laws to be practiced as intended, we the people have to make sure that we are on the jury pool so that we can make sure that there is fidelity in the laws that are already passed. It doesn't make any sense for us to continue to pass laws saying that we're banning the chokehold, yet when the chokehold is used, no one ever suffers any repercussions or consequences as a result. I think it's more important than ever for people to take a look at some of the laws that are currently on the books and practice those laws with fidelity when they are on the jury pool. I also believe it's important for African Americans to register to vote and assure that when they get called for jury duty, it's not a responsibility that they duck out of, that this is a responsibility that they can use in order to help change the verdicts in some of these cases where people get off scot-free. I wonder if the verdicts would be different if there was a greater amount of African Americans represented on the jury pool. What do you think? Do you think that we will have greater equity in terms of the implementation of these laws if there were more African Americans on the jury pool? Please put that in the comments. I'm sure the village would love to know what you think, and so will I. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you want to know when I post, which is Wednesdays, please click on that notification bell so you get that ding on your phone and you know that a new video is waiting for you. And remember, thoughts are actions, words have power, and actions have consequences. I'll see you next week. I'll see you then.